Hey everybody, hope you're doing great today. In this video I want to talk about lighting for the plants. Now I'm not talking about the lighting that goes on top of the tank and for the plants that are inside the tank. I'm actually talking about plants that are growing root-wise in the tank, but leaves-wise they're above tanks. So with those you usually want to light them so they can grow properly. Depending on the plants, like I've got a Pothos in here I'm going to show in a minute. And with that one I'm not as concerned about having an overhead light. Since it's growing decently, what ends up happening with these is because they're looking for a source of energy from the light, they have a tendency to stretch and grow towards the light, which with Pothos, it's kind of more like a vine-like plant, and so if it stretches towards the light, grows long, that's not a big deal. But I do have another plant over here. I've got a Monstera in the 75-gallon that I'm going to show you, and as you can see, it is bending towards the light, so I do want to install some external lighting just to help boost it so it grows up versus growing sideways. Especially with the Monstera, it's a different type of plant compared to the Pothos, not really a vine type of plant. And then I'll show you the lights that I just got. I purchased one light for this particular tank, and it should provide enough light for the Monstera over there. I've got another 33-gallon tank I'm in the process of setting up, so I'm going to look at another external plant as well for that. I'm not sure what I'm going to put, but also going to look at some different options for external lighting. So the lights that I have here are more or less just for lighting for purposes of me when I'm working down here, not really for growing plants. So I don't leave them on. Once I leave, I'll turn that off. And the only lights running are the aquarium lights. The overhead lights being a little farther away, I don't know if they're going to provide enough energy for the plants. So I want something a little closer, a little more directed towards the plants to help them grow. So here's the Pothos I was mentioning. As you can see, it's kind of growing inwards towards the light. Not a big deal. In this case, the light is lifted up a little bit, and so there's a little bit of room underneath for the plants to get some lighting. But whereas we see this other tank I've got over here, 40-gallon, there's another Pothos growing in there just for nutrient control, and this light is laying flat on it, so it really doesn't have anywhere to go. And it's being a newer start, it hasn't grown that much compared to this other one. This other one has been here quite some time. And so it has some roots. It has some roots that actually go in the water. You can see a little bit there. This tank is a little cloudy just because it has algae on the front of the glass, and I leave it there because the fry that are in there like to munch on it, and that just provides an extra food source. So as you can see right here, this is the Monstera I was referring to. It's a Monstera plant. So the leaves are bending in towards the light over here. This light also lays pretty much flat on top of the tank. It's a little bit of a gap, but I want to put something above it, grow up versus growing sideways. That's going to help it grow properly. So for that I need to install an external light, and which I actually already purchased from Amazon. So let's go open it up, get it set up, and take a look at how it works and how it'll be set up for this plant over here. So this is the light I purchased. See here, got a user manual, and it's got some tubes. So these are the posts. Basically, it's gonna go in behind the tank. Basically, screw it in, screw these together. It'll raise it up. Hopefully, it works, and hopefully, I have enough room in the back for that. Got a power cord here. Here's the light modules. So there's two in here, two light modules, and control unit. Looks like it's got a timer function on it, as well as a brightness setting. So it plugs right into the power cord right here. Let's take a look at these. Little flexi head here too, so you can flex it and adjust it. And this is the base here. So this base, the way it looks, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it in the back, because the one issue I'm looking at there is just the spacing behind the tank. I should be able to get it, might be able to get it to next to the tank. Let's take a look. So as mentioned, this is the back side of these tanks over here. That's 75-gallon down over there on the end. That's the one that needs to go behind And it's going to be tight squeeze in there. I don't know if I can fit it in there. So will it be able to fit behind that? Might need some hacking. I do have some room on the side over here. I do have a little more room. Whether that base fits down there or not is another story. But we'll try it. And if the base sits down there, I could always slide this down a little bit. I can even slide it down to the end over there just so it gets some light. So let's get that light assembled, set up, and see where can I put it exactly. In the back or on the side over there. So I got the lights set up, plugged in over here. Nice thing about it is adjustable. You can unscrew this, and because initially it was down here and I thought it was too short, but you unscrew this, you can lift it up, so it looks like it should be tall enough for the tank. But once that Monstera gets a little tall, it might not be enough, in which case I'll have to get something else. But I could use this for some other tanks as well. So it does have an ability to adjust the intensity. And then you can also adjust the color profile. So it looks like there's 3 or 4 different color profiles. As well as there's a timer mode on it, and then just a on and off button. It has this handy little glowing feature to it. I guess if you're in the dark and you don't know where it is, then you can find it. So let's go get it positioned by the tank and see how it fits. So I got the light set up here. As you can see, it's not very tall, but then this tank is a tall tank, and then the stand is set pretty high. So I was hoping I could get a little higher on top of this tank. Right now the plant over here is pretty small, as you can see. Just initial growth to it. And right now this tank is empty, so there's really no nutrients getting put into the tank that can help feed the plant to help it grow faster. So once I get fish in here, they should be coming soon. As I start feeding them food, uneaten food, and fish waste breaks down, gets converted into nitrates, and the plants love nitrates. So that should start to see this boost the growth of this plant, and as well as the plants in here. So the light being short, I'm expecting the plant to eventually outgrow it, and then I will need something different. So I do have this other tank that I'm working on right here. It's a shorter tank, 33 gallon long. It's going to go on top of this over here with a couple more blocks. It will not be as high as this one over here. So probably what I'll do is take this out and then just move it back over here and then have it light overhead for this tank, which I also do plan on having an external plant with roots inside the tank. So different than the Swiss cheese plant here, different than the Monstera plant. I'm not entirely sure yet what I want to go with plant-wise. Still quite a bit away from setting up this tank. Just painted the back over here. Might do another coat, and then need to purchase some substrate and then paint the wood that's going to go on top of the blocks, and then be this support for the tank. So I think this should work for now. But like I mentioned, it's quickly going to outgrow my needs. The plant itself is going to be, should be longer, taller, and then that light will not really help it out much. So we can swap it, and then I'll have to look for some other solution. Maybe hanging something from the ceiling over there, just to get a little better lighting for the external plant. So as mentioned, that setup is going to stay for a little while now, at least until that plant outgrows it, and then we'll figure out some different lighting solutions. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What type of lighting do you use for plants that are growing out of your tank? Are they good products that you used? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know the name. I'll look into those as well too. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.